Hi, I'm Vida Male, and this is what a regular day at Diamond Media looks like.
Hi, Annabelle. You know that feeling when the day starts moving before you even sit down? Yeah? Welcome to my world.
First things first, I walk into the office, grab my script, check what's trending, catch up on the headlines, and of course, quick touch up because camera life waits for no one. Then it's straight into the Diamond Breakfast Show. This is where the day officially begins. We talk current affairs, trending stories, politics, social issues, and everything people are waking up to and talking about.
I'm Vida Male, keeping you up to date with what's trending online. Once the breakfast show is done, the day doesn't slow down.
Next stop, real-time newsroom. Now this one is for people who don't want to wait until the evening news to know what's happening. Stories are breaking every minute and our reporters are out across the country bringing you updates as they happen.
And just when you think the day is done, not quite.
It's time for a news explainer. This is when we take one of the biggest trending stories, the one everyone is talking about but not everyone fully understands, and break it down in a simple, clear, and relatable way for social media. Because sometimes the news can be complex, but understanding it shouldn't be.
DStv stated that it considered such memorial observances premature before the burial. So yeah, from breaking down stories on the Diamond Breakfast to live news updates, that's my regular day at Diamond Media.
Well, the story never stops. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Diamond Media Airways. My name is Vida Male, and I'll be your cabinet attendant for this exciting journey today. As we prepare for takeoff, please fasten your seatbelts. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the experience as we travel through the world of Diamond Media programming. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look to your left, we are now passing through CEO Secrets, where Costa sits down with influential CEOs and business leaders to uncover the stories behind their success. Discover how companies are built, the challenges they faced, and the secrets that transformed ideas into thriving enterprises.
Companies want to bring light, but also it says a lot about you as an individual. It says a lot about you as an individual. Who are you? You can't be different at work and different somewhere else.
As we continue our flight, we are now approaching Vote 463, where we engage and empower the youth as we count down to August 13th, highlighting the significance of youth participation, with 46.3% of youths registered to vote.
Suffice for the energy losses that are happening within the country. So now, tailoring back to your concern, as the youth, what we shouldn't...
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now cruising through our current affairs corridor, bringing you insightful content and conversations from Zimbabwe, Namibia, Malawi, Botswana, and Zambia. As you look through your windows, you can now enjoy our exciting entertainment package featuring music, pageantry, lifestyle, culture, and so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude today's journey, thank you for traveling with Diamond Media, your passport to entertainment and knowledge. We hope to see you on board again soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.
In Lusaka to get an update on the Mutotwe Kafwaya funeral service. It's a story that we've been following up since the time of the incident.
Well, the funeral service has been rescheduled. It was expected to take course yesterday, but then later on pushed to today, Friday. And this particular day, getting to see this happening within the next hour is when the funeral service is expected to happen. But Cherish indeed will be joining us to give us those details. The government
is planning to rehabilitate the Great North Road, as well as the Zambia-Brazil Business Forum, which is set. Rachel Mumba, our business news reporter, will be joining us to give us more details around these two news items.
Our reporter on Wednesday gets to join us, Dante Mwadia, to speak into Mushitala Police Post, which remains closed even after commissioning it.
Edna Mwimbi is on standby at Hero Stadium as we are looking at preparations ahead of the inauguration ceremony for President Hakainde Hichilema, which is slated for the 1st of September, that is next week, Tuesday. So Edna will be joining us to give us an update. We understand that the Secretary of Cabinet toured the stadium ahead of the inauguration ceremony.
Cross over to our reporter in Eastern Province, Samuel Kwawe, as we speak to him over what is coming up from farmers as they complain about staying in the court in order to sell their maize, and they're calling on quick intervention to be put in place for them to quickly sell their produce. But also we speak with him over Kalumba traditional ceremony, where we have seen 700 police officers being deployed to this particular ceremony.
We get to speak more into the agriculture sector as the Josias Gabriel joins us to give us an update on the putting up of satellite sector, or the agriculture sector, and that's farming of different crops as well as vegetables.
For the love of sports, we speak with our sports reporter, Kenan Siame, just to debunk on Zesco Ndola girls who reached COSAFA finals, but also Zambia handball team eyes World Cup.
Let's begin with the first news item for today on the Real Time Newsroom, and we're looking at the Esther Lungu case, which has returned to court. And Josephat Hamakala is joining us to give us an update over the same. Good afternoon to you, Josephat. Let's just pick it up from there. You giving us details around this particular case that is coming out of the court. Whilst we're waiting for him to, in fact, respond to this question, Danji, we're equally looking at the aspect of petitions that have continued to come through. We know for a fact that from the aspect of these petitions, one of the things that has been quite highlighting is that of what happened at the beginning of this very week, and that is the courts across the country being sealed off due to security threats. We heard from the Inspector General of Police, who in fact did talk about the rationale or the reasoning behind the closure of the courts. But this happening on a day where many were expected to file in their petitions, and this is petitioning the election of a president in this particular country. We did see how some were able to file in petitions in an irregular manner, and that is the likes of Linda Kasonde and Brebna Changala, who did so by having to send their petition through email. But before we get to speak more about these petitions, and we're looking at it from parliamentary seat, let's talk about the Esther Lungu case, which has returned to court, and Josephat Hamakala is joining us now. Josephat, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. And let's just pick it up from there. Just take us back to this particular case. What are we looking at in terms of the details around the case involving Esther Lungu within the court?
Well, thank you so much. So the former First Lady is actually, facing charges of theft and property title deeds. This is a case that is actually before court. But unfortunately, this case has actually, faced a number of adjournment, since the First Lady is actually out of the country. And it was actually scheduled to take off today before the Lusaka Magistrates Court. But again, unfortunately, it couldn't take off as she still happens to be outside the country. So, of course, we're actually looking forward to her appearing before court so we can get to, get more details around the case, and also for her to plead maybe guilty or not guilty of the charges, and as the case actually gets to progress. And we actually also tried to reach out to the lawyer, Mr. Changana, who is also unreachable as it stands. So unfortunately for today, the case couldn't take off because of those factors, that she is outside of the country, and the lawyer as well was not before the court today.
Now, Josephat, there's been a very tight conversation around the Lungu family, of which the former First Lady, Esther Lungu, controversy and allegation have been on the table. Have we had any word of her? Because it has been quite a long time since the public heard of her even make a statement or an appearance. Is anything have we learned anything of where she might be, and has she said anything with regards to this particular case?
Well, as of where she is, all we've just been hearing from the courts is that she's outside of the country. That's what comes from the lawyers when they actually get to appear before court. And of course the magistrate as well and the state I've actually also been looking forward to just getting more details, into her whereabouts and when she's likely to, to appear before court and, just to answer to these charges that have actually been placed before her. So as it stands, we're just looking forward as well to just see if the lawyer can get to pick up at the end of the day and give us more details into maybe the whereabouts and when she can just, get to appear before court. Because this case has actually, taken a whole long time. It's been caught in court, but it just gets to be adjourned every time it's caught.
Let's speak of, more of the Lungu family members. We obviously did see, the likes of Tasila Lungu being able to make her way into the country. Have we been able to catch up with them really just to also understand whether they are aware of some of these cases, like this particular one that we're looking at here that is involving her mother in Esther Lungu, returning to court? Have you been able to be in touch with some of the Lungu family members?
Well, as it stands, communication has just been through the lawyers. It doesn't, we haven't reached the families themselves, maybe to just, get closure on the case, just to, find out what is really actually, maybe happening, or their comments on the issue. As we have seen that the president hasn't been appearing before court, but it has just been communication that has been happening has been through the lawyers, and only the lawyers so far can just comment when it comes to this case, since it is already before court.
Let's quickly move on to another story you are looking at. We understand that at some point the courts were closed. We did hear the courts reopening, obviously following risk threats which were reported by the authority. But we understand that Siavonga, independent candidate, that is Brave Mwetwa, has petitioned this particular seat. What are the details to this petition?
Well, thank you so much. So as it stands, we are just waiting to just get more details from the courts because, when they bring these petitions, they have to be signed, they have to be scanned and then, put into the system, and then everyone else can get to have access to them. But, from what he's actually written himself, we've seen that he's actually complaining of some irregularities when it comes to vote counting. He's saying that what was actually announced and, what he actually got is totally different, and he's actually looking forward to to the court ruling in his favor, so that he can have maybe him declared as the winner of the election instead of having Dallas Mununda of the UPND. So we just want him to just be able to receive the documents as they have been filed, but as it stands, the courts are on a break. So what happens is that they get open for, in the morning, and after lunch, they close for business, and that's what gets to take place there. But we are hoping that the process as well for signing and scanning of these petitions can be a little bit quick, so that we are able to have access to the petitions just after they are signed or filed in, rather.
And with relation to just the mood amongst the general public, what sort of comments are you getting, putting into account that at the beginning of this week we did see a very unfamiliar scenes, and that is the courts being sealed off, and this falling on the day of the filing in of the last day and the filing in of petitions, for the election of a president in this country. But from the general public in itself, what sort of comments are we getting, or what does the mood look like, even as we're talking about petitions at parliamentary level?
Well, talking about the public, of course, questions have been raised. The public wants to know why the courts were actually, closed. And there's been so much speculation out there to say, why isn't the government really, maybe coming out to tell the people really what this security threat is that has made them to actually, have closed all the courts across the country. Now, as we know that the courts have opened, still they did mention in the statement to say that the police officers are going to still be there at the court premises to make sure that they do provide security. But yeah, from the public, the questions are just there, but we haven't seen that response to those questions directly to really tell the people what a security threat is really at the court premises. As we saw some, they were sealed. and would see tapes written crime scene, and others were asking to say what crime was actually committed at the court premises. But of course, those answers haven't been answered to date.
Before we let you go, Josephat, I know you are a court reporter and you always keep us updated as far as court matters are concerned. Just generally speaking to this issue of reopening of courts following their closure, I want to lean more to just understand how the environment is at court premises currently. Is it business as usual now? How is the mood like really? Are we seeing now cases now being brought before the judges or before the courts rather?
Yes, we've actually seen some cases coming up before the courts, especially the Lusaka Magistrate Court. But of course, as it stands, they just opened up yesterday. But operations, are a little bit slow. They haven't yet gotten back, into that full operation like they used to before the courts were actually closed. And we've seen some cases being adjourned, to later dates because they're still trying to put everything back together. Some judgments as well have been adjourned to later dates to next week. So we do believe that maybe by Monday things will get back to normal, and we'll have a full-time court processes like they were before the closure came in. Otherwise, it's just been it's a slow kind of work that is happening. People are coming in, not in that big number like they used to before. Maybe some are still thinking the courts are still closed. But yeah, work has just been slow at the courts as it stands since they opened yesterday.
All right. Well, Joshua Tamakala there, just giving us details around what is coming out of the court, but equally taking a look at also the petitions, that are being filed in at parliamentary level. We still have more coming up later on the Root Time Newsroom. One of the things we'll be focusing on is that of the funeral service for the late Mutotwe Kafwaya, who unfortunately passed away sometime in the middle of this very month. And we have seen that the funeral service was rescheduled from yesterday and it being pushed back to a much later date, which is today, the 28th of August. And the funeral service is expected to take place at exactly 13 hours. And Shari Sibote will be joining us to give us more details around the same. But for now, stick around, because when we get back from the break, that's what we're focusing on.
I wonder what time she's going to cook porridge.
Mama, if you wanted to make groundnut porridge, all you needed to do is just use poja. It's the same thing.
Same? So you mean it can challenge my porridge, which I used to feed my son, your husband?
With poja, you have the same natural ingredients as with regular porridge. Same groundnuts and same maize.
So my porridge you are saying is regular?
No, it's not what I'm saying. With poja, all you need to do is just add boiling water and stir to your desired thickness. Try it. You might actually like it.
It's not bad.
Let me clear the plates.
No.
Go check. Big Tree Poja Instant Porridge, a tradition of taste and nutrition.
Welcome to an electrifying new epic of agricultural shopping. Nestled in the bustling Lusaka showgrounds, the Nemkim Agri Division is more than just a store. It's the lighthouse of advancement, searching for top-notch biosecurity, cleaning and pest control solutions. Attention! Local businesses, your quest ends here. Get ready for a thrilling journey in agricultural retail. The future begins at Nemkem Agri Division, your supermarket for superior quality. The revolution of agricultural shopping starts now. It's about empowering your business and nurturing your community. Call us today or visit our shop at the Lusaka Showgrounds.
Mama, twapatira abwera ndani bigiriko ndiye nja iwe wamena na slota ngombe na mbai leka chibwere. Okay. Bigiriko we are very idiots. Bigiriko tele bigiriko ari kuruma.
I am not Big Nico.
Huh?
Big Nico is my boss.
Wabikabu studying umwene wafyo mtarachana presents. You benyots. Alikwizo oyo ita wildcat. Chona wa mtengere.
Chona wa mtengere simu.
Hey, what up? What up? Chona wa mtengere, everyone. Wildcat energy drink. Untainted energy.
So I know you if you already had a man, why were you fooling around with Shajek?
If you two don't man up, I swear I am gonna kick you out of this house. I don't care. Just come and help me, girl.
My answer is still no. I am not going to help you. The day you realize that I am gone, you will know that I'm not as useless as you think I am.
Which enemy is that? Can you speak? Go straight to the point.
What is it?
As Nguzo's biological son, I'm capable of running this company.
Wow.
So fresh, natural goodness every day. Thick and healthy, good for everyone. I drink it every day.
Introducing Dairy Gold Full Cream Milk. From our carefully selected farms to your home. Packed with all the nutrients you need every day. Dairy Gold Full Cream Milk. It's farm fresh.
Trade Kings, improving lives.
So how can you get clean and affordable energy? How can you avoid plastic in your daily life? What kind of jobs are there for you in a green economy? Echo Africa shows you people and ideas that improves our lives and the world we live in. Get inspired. Echo Africa.
To know where we're going, we must remember where we're coming from. Boom. Never forget home.
Every Sunday, praise gets unlocked. We open the gates to the freshest, most inspiring sounds, bringing joyful noise to your screens. So be a part of the show by voting for your top songs via video message using the numbers on the screen. Every Sunday at 18:30 hours, only on Diamond TV, DStv channel 271 and GOtv channel 20.
Welcome back. Let's continue with the rest of the Real Time Newsroom. We now get to speak with our reporter, Cherish Sibote, who is following up on the funeral service of a former cabinet minister, as well as member of parliament for Lunte constituency, Mtoto Kafwaya. And we understand that this funeral service was scheduled to take place yesterday, but unfortunately that did not happen. The date's being pushed back to today, and it in fact was supposed to happen much earlier on this morning. But then again, we did see the rescheduling of the time. It's expected to happen on the at exactly 13 hours on the 28th of August, which is this very Friday. Cherish, good afternoon to you. I'd like us to pick it up from just there. Yesterday, this funeral service was expected to happen, but we heard some of the grievances from the bereaved family, them just indicating a number of things that led to them having to reschedule the funeral service. One of the people that spoke was, Mtoto Kafwaya's cousin. What can you tell us about what transpired yesterday?
And good afternoon, viewers. Yesterday, we as Diamond TV did plan to cover the funeral procession of Mtoto Kafwaya, former Lunte Member of Parliament, exactly at 14 hours at the Tabernacle of David Assemblies in Chalala. But upon arrival, we were told that the service could not hold, and at that particular time, we were not aware of the reasons to why the service could not hold. But later in the afternoon, we did see a family representative, that's Charles Chishimba, who's a cousin to Mr. Mtoto Kafwaya, telling the country or the nation the reasons why they have failed to hold the funeral service and also proceed to burial. They were supposed to bury today in Lunte. So he did state that the family were grieved at the fact that Mtoto Kafwaya's body was given to them in its state that he did not leave the house, and they were also claiming that they want to know where his clothes and personal belongings have been taken. According to them, he was only found with a wristwatch, at which they are not happy with, and they would like government to respond or to give them or to avail them these personal belongings. So then in the later evening, we did hear that the service was rescheduled to today, 10 hours at the same venue, Tabernacle of David Assemblies, and we did visit Tabernacle of David Assemblies, where we found mourners starting to come in. That was 9:57 to 10 hours, mourners starting to come in. The church was ready, the church elder or leadership were ready, everything was ready, but as a few minutes passed, we were told that it has been rescheduled to 13, and the church did tell us that it's because postmortem delayed, and therefore the service has been moved to 13 hours. So we're looking forward to cover this service and bring you live updates from there.
Now, Cherish, what's coming out from the family, as you have hinted, is that one of their strong position is that he was found without clothes on. Obviously, their indication was that he left his house with clothes on. Now, following that joint operation that happened, that government spoke on, which led to him being identified as one of the victims who was actually shot. I want to speak into what step they are planning on taking now with regards to, because their request was that they needed the clothes that were worn by the late former cabinet minister, Mtoto Kafwaya. What's the latest coming up from the family? Do we have any other intel, looking at the fact that we have the funeral service taking place today?
So we did reach out to one of his brothers, Mr. Chibale, who says he could not give us any intel and we should wait for the service to occur at 13. If anything happens, they will alert the church leadership or the media to why they will not proceed with a service today, that if the funeral service will not proceed. But at the time we were leaving the Tabernacle of David, one of the church leaders told us that currently they were at Mainasoko Hospital doing the postmortem. Thereafter, they will move to St. Anne for the funeral processions of the body and then bring it back to Tabernacle of David for the service to carry on. So we haven't gotten any new updates from the family. We don't know if they have been given these personal belongings that they want. And as far as we are concerned, we are waiting to see if the funeral service will commence at 13.
I would like to speak to some of the, familiar faces we've been able to see, the likes of Davis Mwila, the recently elected member of parliament for Lima constituency, in Kelvin Kaunda. What exactly are some of the political figures saying, seeing that Mr. Kafwaya had a stint within the political space? What exactly are they saying, especially regarding, his death and a way to move forward?
Yesterday, when we did speak to the likes of Davis Miller and Kelvin Kaunda, they did describe Mr. Mutoteka as an intelligent politician, a very calm and wise man. Davis Miller, in his own words, said he died fighting for the second independence of the country. And today we did get to speak to Tshala Kateka, New Heritage Party president, who says she relived or recounted to us what happened or what transpired on the 14th of August. She said they were at a press briefing with Mr. Mutoteka earlier in the hours of August 14th, and they separated, they parted ways midday, and Mr. Mutoteka went and rejoined his fellow politicians at the residence of Brian Monduvile. And she did tell us that at the slightest of she would have been with them at that residence. So she was just telling us that she might also have been in this predicament if they had not separated, but also remembering him as a politician who was loved by Zambians, a firm believer in Christ, and that's why she thinks that many are willing to turn out for his funeral service, as we saw at the Tabernacle of David.
Now, Cherish, I understand that government did. We did see a circular being published, obviously speaking into the fact that they did accord rather a state funeral to the late Mutoteka, but we did see that they did extend that particular offer to the family. What are the details to this? What is the family saying about what is coming up from government with regards to them according the late former cabinet minister Mutoteka a state funeral? Cherish, are you able to hear me?
All right, we seem to have lost Cherish Water there, the connection just breaking off, but it's quite clear the feedback that has come through from the family, Ndanji, this with relation to the funeral service for the former cabinet minister Mutoteka. Unfortunately, he died on the 14th of August, this being as a result of, the security threat that was detected by the law enforcement agencies here. We did see the Zambia police working alongside other law enforcers like the Drug Enforcement Commission. And this particular raid that was conducted, we heard what the Zambia police were saying is that there was an exchange of fire. And in that result, we did see the death of Mutoteka.
One thing you need to know, today was supposed to be his birthday.
He was going to be turning 50 years old today.
Turning 50, which is quite interesting. And it would have been good. And we think the conversation has been that in as much as there's this complication between government and the family over this matter, I think he did deserve a state funeral because he did sacrifice, because public service is a sacrifice to the people, serving the people. But also at this point, we just follow with what the family wants at this point, and they're trying to move him to Lunte. That's where the burial is supposed to take place. And the questions have been rising about the clothes. And I think we spoke about those with our reporter, Cherish. Cherish, are you back there? Are you able to hear me? Cherish, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly understand, because government did offer to accord the late former cabinet minister Mutoteka a state funeral. What came out from the family with regards to that offer that government had to put on the table?
So the family has not issued a comment around why they declined that offer, but Mr. Mutoteka, being a former cabinet minister, was ideally supposed to be given a state funeral, but they haven't come out in the open, which has also raised questions. Social media has, as the statement was circulated, people are questioning whether, in the manner in which he died, and whether his rights as a cabinet minister should be honored. And some are supporting the family for declining and opting to have a private funeral, while others have stated that they should have allowed the government to give him his honors as he worked for this country.
Right. And, as we get to just conclude, Cherish, with relation to the government in itself, yes, we know for a fact that they accorded Mutoteka a state funeral. But one of the things that we have talked about is just the faces and names that are making their way to the funeral service. Have we seen any government officials just going to pay their respects at the funeral service, other than the political figures that we have seen so far?
no, Justin, we haven't seen any government official, no prominent figure. In the last 2 days, we have been at Tabernacle of David. Most of the people that we have seen are people that knew him personally, his friends, some friends from the church, politicians like the ones we have mentioned, David Smith and the like. And mostly from the PF, nobody from the government has stepped a foot at Tabernacle of David.
Lastly, Cherish, we did hear the Law Association of Zambia speaking to having an independent investigation into the death of Mtoto Kafwaya. Obviously, government has been indicating the reason leading to his death, but there has been this call by different stakeholders to have an independent investigation. Have we heard any push from other stakeholders with this regard to see where this issue of having an independent investigation on this matter, where it has reached from the time we heard stakeholders commenting on the matter?
No, and we haven't heard any new calls aside from the calls we made from the likes of LAS, NGOs, CC, and other civil society organizations calling for this independent investigation from the fact that he was shot on the 14th and then only officially declared dead on the 18th. Many have raised questions on the circumstances surrounding his death. So we wait to hear from the family and from government if this private investigation will be carried out. But as far as today, we haven't heard any other push from the COSO community or even from the family or the government.
All right, Cherish, thank you so much for joining us and giving us those details. We are hoping to hear from you a little later on as we expect the funeral service to take place at exactly 13 hours. That's our colleague there, Cherish Sibote. Very unfortunate, Ndanji, that this is what the bereaved family has to go through, and some of the requests that they have made, obviously the personal belongings of Mtoto Kafwaya being the main reason as to why the funeral proceedings were pushed back to a much later date. The funeral service expected to take place at the Tabernacle of David in Chalala. But one of the things that he'll be remembered for is him holding on to the Lunte seat in Parliament from 2016 all the way up until 2026. That's roughly about 10 years of him being a member of Parliament for the Lunte seat. But prior to that, we know that the MMD did have a stint from 2001 to 2016 with Felix Mutati being the member of Parliament for Lunte constituency. But many obviously having to remember him for his debating skills. I remember, if my memory serves me right, sometime last year when the president was addressing Parliament, he did have a subtle, humorous moment with Mtoto Kafwaya, where he had even asked, the president had asked the Speaker of the National Assembly, to allow him to misbehave a little, and the president referred to, Mtoto Kafwaya in that humorous moment. But it's really unfortunate, and what we can only say and send out is our heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family. May God rest the soul of Mr. Mtoto Kafwaya.
Right.
Well, let's take a break. On the other side, we still have more coming up right here on the Root Time Newsroom. Stick around.
Hey!
Choco Loco. Squeeze the fun out of every moment.
Did you know that as a member of the public, you have the right to complain against any radio or television station content that has caused you to feel aggrieved? Did you also know that all radio and television stations have an obligation to address your complaint when aggrieved? The first step is to complain directly to the station not more than 3 months after the broadcast took place. Be specific and state what grievances you have against the broadcast, when the broadcast took place, who the presenter was, your name, and contact details for further communication by the station. It is expected that the station will respond satisfactorily within 14 days. If you are not satisfied with the response, or if the station has not responded to you within 14 days, then escalate your complaint to the Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA. Write to the Director General, Independent Broadcasting Authority, Mass Media Complex, Alikinkata Road. P.O. Box 32475 Lusaka. Call us on +260 211 250 589. Email complaints@iba.org.zm. Visit our website www.iba.org.zm. Independent Broadcasting Authority, promoting professionalism and enhanced standards of the broadcasting industry through effective regulation.
Morning school. Morning.
Sit, shake it, or bake it. How you stay snacked up is up to you. Delight Grown Ups Family Cereal. Your day, your way.
Still sleeping. I wonder what time she's going to cook porridge.
Mama, if you wanted to make granite porridge, all you needed to do is just use Poja. It's the same thing.
Same? So you mean it can challenge my porridge, which I used to feed my son, your husband?
With Poja, you have the same natural ingredients as with regular porridge. Same groundnuts and same maize.
So, my porridge you are saying is regular?
No, it's not what I'm saying. With Poja, all you need to do is just add boiling water and stir to your desired thickness. Try it. You might actually like it.
It's not bad.
So let me clear the plate.
No.
Go check. Big Tree Poja Instant Porridge, a tradition of taste and nutrition.
Good morning, welcome to the Milk Kid Farm.
It's a happy day, let's have some fun. We'll start with the kiss to the pretty girls.
Then pour the milk,
The flavor's love, and this
pick your favorite flavor from chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and banana. Milk It Milkshake, the shake that moves.
From Uni Turtle Industries,
It is the touch of Turtle tiles and bricks that brings life, uniqueness, quality, and durability to the different spaces of your environment. We manufacture, deliver, and install quality curbs, paving bricks, paving tiles, concrete tiles, swimming pool copings, and spoon drains. Choose your styles, colors, sizes, shapes, and patterns, just the way your desired branding and outlook should be. Our products are well tested for durability in domestic and commercial environments. Call us on 0211-286064 or WhatsApp 09755-79558. Email info@uniturtle.com. Visit the website on www.uniturtle.com. Turtle Tiles and Bricks, paving the nation. By Uniturtle Industries.
It doesn't matter what the world might say. I want to live my life like it's my last day. There ain't a place that I would rather be than here with you, 'cause you make me happy.
Your Appy moments just got better. Introducing Appy in a new look and more fun flavors for more smiles. Appy, made of happy moments.
This is Mwamba, the Deco Queen. She turns spaces from mayo to wow. She could fly to China for new products, but why pick jet lag when you've got the Airtel Money Global Pay Card? No flights, no visas, just browse, pay, done. At checkout, just pick MasterCard and enter your Global Pay Card details, CVV, and expiry date. Simple. Be like Mwamba. Get your Global Pay Card in the Airtel Money section of the My Airtel app and top it up straight from your wallet.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. Let's continue with the rest of the Real Time Newsroom, where we now get to engage Rachel Mumba, her joining us to talk about the government's plans to rehabilitate the Great North Road. Good afternoon to you, Rachel. I'd like us to begin our conversation from there. And my question to you is centered around which parts exactly of, Great North Road. We know that there has been some construction works or rehabilitation works that this road has had to undergo the last couple of months. So what plans exactly are being made here to rehabilitate the Great North Road?
Hi, good afternoon, Justin. Good afternoon, Danji. Yes, indeed. So the Zambia Statistics Agency yesterday did give an account, or a report rather, of how much total revenue was collected, or the value of exports via all modes of transport. And we did see that between January and July 2026, $197.4 billion was counted for the export value. But we do see that, at the road transport took about the biggest chunk of the total value at about $186.6 billion. But it means that the roads are what are widely used to be able to transport or to be able to export commodities here in Zambia. But despite the roads carrying much of the exports, we do see a problem when we talk about the Great North Road, the Serenje-Mpika Road, or is it Serenje-Chintali Road? That road going all the way to Nakonde is in a deplorable state. And one would think if the road network is carrying such an amount or such a high value of exports, what should be done then to make sure that these roads are maintained? But before we could even go to that, I'd also like to give you some of the statistics, such as air. Air carried about the total value 3.9 billion, and rail was third and indeed last with about 9% of the export values at 1.8 billion, which only goes to show you that the rail system in Zambia is not really used to export goods out of the country. The road network carries a lot of this, but then I don't know if you've traveled to the northern part of the Chinga province of Zambia, you'd find that the road is extremely deplorable, and yet it is a very important trade corridor between Zambia and Tanzania. We know that most of our goods come through or go out of the country through that corridor, yet it's in a deplorable state. But we did see in the past, government did make plans to start rehabilitating that road to make sure that it carries, much of the goods that go out of the country, and indeed the goods that come into the country. There's also been calls on the need to revitalize the rail system, and I think we've been able to carry stories that talk to the need to revitalize the rail system, because at the moment, the rail system only carries about 0.9% of the total export value, which means that it's extremely underutilized. Yet it could be one of those transport corridors or transport modes of transport that are able to carry most of the goods and also put pressure off the road network, because I know that there's a lot of trucks coming in and out of the country and using that part of the road to bring in and take out commodities, and as such it gets to wear out quickly. And so there's need for government and indeed through the Ministry of Transport and Logistics to be able to find out what it is that they are doing, number one, to make sure that this very important transport corridor is taken care of. We can already see from the amount of exports that it's carrying, from the values that are coming through the road network, because there's need to ensure that the roads in Zambia, especially the important transport corridors, are taken care of. We've seen, and we can't take away from the fact that government has been doing its best to ensure that some road networks are taken care of. We were seeing the development of the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway and indeed other road networks. But we did have conversations with a lot of the transporters along that corridor that have expressed concern on the need for government to pay particular attention to that road network, because it's a very, very important trade corridor. It connects a lot of provinces as well. But over and above, we see that there's a lot of money that comes from the road network. And so there's need for government to now begin paying attention to roads such as the Great North Road and ensure that something is done. Because also when the road is taken care of, we'll be able to see that I think goods will be arriving on time. There'll be no delay. But there's a lot of accidents also that happen within that road because of how deplorable it is, Justin.
You bring about a very important point, and that's what I wanted to ride on actually in terms of what is coming up from truck drivers, because I understand if you live in places like Mpika, Chinsali, Kapiri, you will appreciate how important the Great North Road, or rather even the road stretching from Kapiri up until Nakonde, how important it is with when it comes to export and exchange of goods and services. But have you had chance also to understand what what plans government have in terms of resource mobilization to rehabilitate this road? Is it going to...
Well, we seem to have lost Rachel there, Danji, but it's pretty clear that there is need for rehabilitation of this particular road. I know the conversation has equally been centered around how this road connects to the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway, which is still currently under works, and government did give clarification on when we should expect this particular stretch to be done away with. And one of the things that we've been able to see the last couple of years, just from the Patriotic Front regime getting into UPND, is the rehabilitation of some of these roads. Because if you take a look at how trade is conducted, especially with the transportation of specific goods from different industries, you will see that it's by road, and it's much cheaper than freight, much cheaper than air as well. With relation to just the transportation of goods, I think one of the biggest challenges that has continually come up is the fact that the different modes of transport, especially here with Zambia it being landlocked, have experienced challenges in having to rehabilitate some of these particular sections within the transportation sector. But it's clear what she's indicated here, the plans coming through from government.
Right. I think the conversation equally has been on the fact that if you look at Kapiri Mposhi leading up to Nakonde, there's much emphasis on the railway track because of the vast goods and services that are coming up from the northern circuit. But ideally, because of that combination between railway and road, much focus has been on the railway because of the quantity of goods that have been imported in and exported out of the country. But it's suffice to say, trucks that are carrying fuel, for example. They use this stretch petroleum products, as well as those that are transporting goods, but also human beings. And we have seen a number of reports of accidents, and due to bad roads, potholes everywhere. But we do have reporter Rachel Mumba back. Rachel, are you able to hear me? Rachel Mumba, are you able to hear me? We seem to have a technical glitch there with our reporter Rachel Mumba. But yeah, this is a good development, and we hope for the best that equally what is being expanded, Lusaka Ndola dual carriageway, could be the similar conversation that we can have between this road leading to the Northern Circuit. Rachel Mumba, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, she seems to not be set there, but of course that's one of the things we're looking at with Rachel Mumba. They're just seeing the commencement of works around rehabilitation of various road networks within the country, and the focus has been mainly on the Great North Road with Rachel Mumba. One of the things that we're expected to focus on as well is the Zambia-Brazil Business Forum Summit, or it being set rather, and one of the things we're looking at is it taking place today within Lusaka. I think the conversation around a number of upcoming bilateral trade events has opened up to Zambia. We're getting to see it being able to receive quite a number of investor confidence with these summits that are being held, or these bilateral engagements or trade events. There's been an upscale with the business-to-business meetings that are being had, an opportunity for the locals to be able to interact and engage.
It's a two-way. It's a two-way stream, B2B and B2C. So obviously the conversation is around how can business to customers be enhanced, how can business to business also be enhanced, and I think the conversation is quite mutual. We have seen, as you have indicated, a good positive outlook towards the investor confidence in the country. Look at our inflation is at 6.2%. Our kwacha has maintained its stability with the other convertibles. It's doing quite well. But we do have Rachel Mumba back. Rachel, let's just quickly move on to another story here that you're looking at. Zambia-Brazil Business Forum, which is set to happen. But just give us more details to these events and what it's about. Rachel, can you hear me? Rachel Mumba, are you able to hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can get you now, Rachel. Great. I was just saying, let's move on to this other story that you're looking at, Zambia-Brazil Business Forum. What can you tell us about this forum?
So obviously, the Zambia-Brazil Business Forum is an important event, especially for Zambia. We know for sure that Brazil is one of those countries that have really advanced in terms of agriculture, and Zambia is trying to also, scale up and make agriculture profitable. And so one of the things that even the Brazilian ambassador to Zambia did allude to is that Zambia has a lot to learn from Brazil as it pertains to, agriculture and how Zambia can begin to make agriculture profitable. But over and above, we did also see the Zambia Development Agency Director General, Mr. Albert Halwampa, really speak to why investors from Brazil should consider making Zambia their investment destination. And one of the things that they talk about was that Zambia is an attractive investment destination because of its peace. I think Zambia boasts of its peace, and that there's been 7 different presidents in Zambia, and there's been peaceful transition of government, and that also makes it extremely attractive for investors, especially Brazilian investors, to be able to come into Zambia. But the other thing that, he did allude to was the fact that Zambia does have incentives, especially for foreign investors who intend to, invest in the country in various sectors, and sectors of priority. Obviously, we know it's agriculture, manufacturing, mining, as well as energy, which has become one of those go-to investment opportunities. He did talk to the fact that when investors come into this country, they'll have about 10 years of VAT exemption, when they're operating from a multi-facility economic zone, he talked about how Zambia is located strategically within the Southern African region with about 5 million customers in the SADC region. And so if these Brazilian investors come to Zambia, they don't just have Zambia as a market. Then they also have an opportunity to be able to sell to Zambia's neighbors. Zambia is land linked, and so that its geographical location makes it a very attractive investment destination. But beyond that, this business forum makes it an opportunity for businesses, local businesses. And Ndanje, I heard you talk about business to business opportunities where local businesses here in Zambia can be able to network and find market in Brazil. And so there was quite a number of local businesses as well attending, and just being able to find out what opportunities are in Brazil for Zambian government, for Zambian businesses to be able to sell their trade to places like Brazil. But also Zambia is ready for business, as even the head of state has time and time again said it. But Mr. Halwampa has alluded to the fact that Zambia is ready for business, having talked about all these different aspects that make Zambia a very attractive investment destination. And that's pretty much what the Brazil-Zambia Business Forum is about. But we know for sure that Zambia is working on a number of trade corridors, such as the Lobito corridor, which is going to help Zambia even export its goods to the Americas, to South America, to Brazil, for instance, through the Angola to the Atlantic Ocean. That is going to be the nearest route. And so that was one of the things that ZDA did allude to, that when they come to Zambia, they have an opportunity to do trade with Zambia through these various corridors, such as Walvis Bay, the Port of Beira, the Port of Dar es Salaam, but even the Lobito corridor that's underway.
Well, Rachel, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you for joining us and giving us that update. Let's take a break. When we get back, we have more coming up from our reporters, to stick around.
This right here, this is for you. For him. For her. For them. For the ones on the move. And the ones who sit still. The ones up high. Oh, for the ones on holiday. This is pure. This is refreshing. This is Vatra, made for life.
Umupamapamo, watulile ngoma. Consistency enables one to achieve his or her goals. But that responsibility comes with its own challenges.
When that time of the month comes, it's never easy, but I must be ready.
Ukunkala kwangu pano padera, nosebenzera abana. Masiku yanangu, yomvwika bwino. Lomba yakini, umvwika lini bwino.
They say you look after wealth, but knowledge looks after you.
In all my years as a wife and as a mother,
something always had my back in painful times.
For fevers, headaches, muscle aches, and backaches, the recommendation is
Panadol.
Panadol. Pharmanova, saving lives since 1980.
Chop some onions. I'll be too. Into the pot. Delicious. Sprinkle some spring onion.
Have you heard about the lady who knows how to cook? She makes the best noodles with a special look. She adds to veggie, spices and meats, and serves them hot and fresh down in every street. Mama Benson noodles, hey, you make me smile. Mama Benson noodles, tasty every time. Mama B is making bento tonight. Mama B is making bento tonight. Mama B is making bento tonight. Mama B is making bento tonight.
Better Bento. Uniturtle Industries presents Turtle Agro, comprising stockfeed lime and agricultural lime. The wide range of turtle stockfeed lime, whether coarse, grit or fine lime, enhances the good health and growth of your livestock, be it poultry, piggery and many more. On the other hand, calcitic and dolomitic lime are the best agricultural solutions that create a steady balance and improvement of the health of your soils, increasing crop resistance to diseases for greater harvests. Get affordable lime. Call us on 0211 286064 or WhatsApp 09755 79558. Email info@uniturtle.com or visit the website www.uniturtle.com. Turtle Agro Lime. Lime your fields, get better yields. By Uniturtle Industries.
Barbara Banda doesn't just play, she dominates. She's a force, power, endurance, and unshakable focus. Fit Sports Drink powers her journey with essential nutrients, boosting hydration, enhancing recovery, and delivering lasting energy to conquer every challenge. Fit by Vatra, fit for life.
Changes. Other things change. The rhythm, the tempo. Bows become loud. Too loud to be ignored. Because he is coming. The die is cast for the change of chief. And things will never be the same again.
Why don't you become chief of the Bitwa people and look for other people to come and be the next chief?
Until the business lineage perishes, I cannot be a chief.
Then steal them.
But it's like a stupid fly that follows a corpse to the grave. You need an enemy. Just advise a man in love against his relationship.
You are in the line of being a queen.
Farmers of Zambia, your hard work feeds the nation. And now, getting paid for crops supplied to FRA has been made simple, faster and safer. FRA has now introduced digital payments and farmers will be paid electronically by transferring money directly into their bank accounts or their mobile money wallets. All farmers intending to sell their crops to FRA are requested to open bank accounts or mobile money wallets on Airtel, MTN and Zamtel immediately. Visit your nearest bank or mobile network agent with your NRC today and open your account.
Now I get my money through my mobile money wallet. While I attend to other chores, I can save, send, or use it anytime. Very secure too.
Nalandira ndalama zanga ku banki, pa phone, kulibe zochedwa, kulibe kuyimirira pa mline.
FRA, securing national strategic food reserves, taking wealth to rural Zambia.
Grandpa, what's that?
This right here, this is for you. For him. For her. For them. For the ones on the move. And the ones who sit still.
future truly is the only way.
The ones up high.
I really need that I really need that
Oh, for the ones on holiday. This is pure. This is refreshing. This is Vatra, made for life.
Umupamapamo, watulile ngoma. Consistency enables one to achieve his or her goals. But that responsibility comes with its own challenges.
When that time of the month comes, it's never easy, but I must be ready.
Ukunkala kwangu pano padera, nosebenzera abana. Masiku yanangu, yomvwika bwino. Lomba yakini, mvwika lini bwino.
They say you look after wealth, but knowledge looks after you.
In all my years as a wife and as a mother,
something always had my back in painful times.
For fevers, headaches, muscle aches, and backaches, the recommendation is
Panadol.
Panadol. Pharmanova, saving lives since 1980.
The meaning of life is not to simply exist, but to move ahead. To rise up and achieve. To conquer. Introducing Kung Fu Energy Drink, your push for the next conquests. Kung Fu Energy Drink. Master the...
Welcome back. Let's continue with the rest of the Road Time Newsroom. We speak with our reporter now, Edna Mwimbi, who is joining us to give us details around the preparations of Hero Stadium ahead of the inauguration ceremony of President-elect Hakainde Hichilema, who was elected president of this country at the beginning of, in the middle, in fact, of this very month, with the Electoral Commission of Zambia announcing him as the winner of the 2026 general elections. Edna, good afternoon to you. Let's start off from you, just highlighting to us how the preparations are going on so far. We know that government officials have been able to tour the Hero Stadium in itself in readiness for the inauguration ceremony, which is expected to happen on the 1st of September.
Well, indeed, Justin, the preparations for the inauguration of the elected president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, which is set for 1st September, which is only 4 days away from now, is still underway. We did see on Tuesday, which was the first inspection that was carried out at the Hero Stadium, and it was brought to the attention of the public that most of the work at Hero Stadium was almost completed. And the government officials did also indicate that progress would be announced as time goes by, just to inform the public on how preparations are going. But of course, they were confident that as days unfold to the inauguration, they were confident that the works at Hero Stadium would be complete. And as of today, the secretary to the cabinet, Mr. Patrick Kangwa, did tour Heroes Stadium today, and he was also accompanied by other permanent secretaries. We had the likes of Mr. Mambo Hamawundo, Permanent Secretary of Defense. We had Mr. Gabriel Pollen from the Ministry of Local Government. We also had other delegates, just to mention a few, that toured the Hero Stadium with Mr. Patrick Kangwa. And after his inspection, after he has assessed the Hero Stadium, he did mention that he was satisfied. He was happy with how preparations are going, and he mentioned that everything has gone according to plan, and he's hoping that everything sticks and remains that way until come 1st September, Tuesday, everything can be as planned. And he also went on to thank the inauguration committee that has been working to ensure that everything goes according to plan for the inauguration on Tuesday. And also, I also did get to see the stage, which is almost set, different positions that are going to, have various stages mounted at the Heroes Stadium. And all in all, he did, the Secretary to the Cabinet did express confidence and satisfaction at what he saw during his inspection of the tour at Heroes Stadium.
Now, Edna, just explain to us how the mood is like generally rather, in terms of the country as we prepare for Tuesday next week. From what you have been able to observe in the country, how is the mood like ahead of President Hakainde Hichilema inauguration?
Please go ahead with the question, Danji.
I'm asking you how the mood is like generally, like across the country and close to Lusaka rather, in terms of how people, the mood they are in as they await for President Hakainde Hichilema to be sworn in on Tuesday.
Oh, well, Danji, I can tell you that the mood is quite calm, really. I can say that there hasn't really been, much energy and activity diverting to the inauguration. But all I can say is that there are some people that are looking forward to the inauguration that, just want it to, pass and be done with. I understand that, it was we're coming from a busy period, which was the election, the voting and everything else. And for most of them, they really want the inauguration to just come to an end, and so that most people can, just go back to their normal daily lives. Because I remember having a conversation with someone just earlier today who just told me to say that at ease, they do not know what's going to happen in between now and before the inauguration. They don't know how life is going to be when they report for work, how it's going to be to manage their other side businesses, because there's all that uncertainty. Like, they just want to see the inauguration pass, and for them, once the inauguration passes, it's the end to an election period, and then they can now divert their attention to other things. But for now, all eyes are on the inauguration. They want to see how it's going to turn out. I remember having a conversation earlier with one of the delegates at Heroes Stadium. We're also yet to expect other delegates from various parts of the country who are just going to come and witness the ceremony. And so people are looking forward to that, and we're just yet to get more details and more information on who is going to fly into the country, who's going to be present just to witness the inauguration ceremony that's going to take place shortly in just the next coming 4 days.
Right, and let's talk about the security personnel that are there. And I think this is an important aspect of, the inauguration ceremony. The last couple of days, we've heard from the Zambia police speaking about possible security threats and seeing the closing off of the courts. But with relation to the inauguration ceremony, have we heard anything from the Zambia police? What does it look like in terms of them also being able to prepare in that regard?
Oh, well, we haven't yet heard from the Zambia police on the numbers that are needed or that are going to be deployed out there to ensure that there is law and order. But I can tell you, Justin, that just when I reached Heroes Stadium, I can tell you that there is enough police presence. We have law enforcement officers right at the premises of Heroes Stadium, as well as inside. There is visible presence. So we are hoping to see if security is going to come out in numbers, as is the case right now, really, Justin, because there's been all these talks about security, and just right before the inauguration, there is visible security, there is visible police presence. So we're yet to hear from the Zambia police on how much enforcement they're going to deploy at the Heroes Stadium.
Now, Edna, not long ago, Heroes Stadium underwent rehabilitation. Obviously, they were trying to fix some of the problematic areas within the facility itself. From your assessment, what have you been able to gather in terms of how fit the infrastructure is for this event that is taking place on Tuesday next week?
Oh, yes. From what I was able to gather, Ndaji, I can tell you that the works are almost 80% complete, because from my tour of the surrounding, I could tell that most of the works was done, and I now understand why the secretary to the cabinet expressed confidence that in the next 3 days the facility will be completely ready for the inauguration. Because from the last time that I was at Hero Stadium, there were some spots that had loopholes, that needed maintenance, but as of today, I did not see that. Just a few hiccups that could be worked on in a day or in an hour's time, really, that do not carry much weight. But really, the works at Hero Stadium are still underway, and from my own observation, almost 80% done. But we're yet to hear from government officials once the works are completed and the Hero Stadium is 100% ready to receive the president, receive delegates, receive supporters, and receive various stakeholders to witness the inauguration ceremony.
Edna, thank you so much for giving us those details. Ndanji, we are building up to the inauguration ceremony. It's slated for the 1st of September 2026. That's next week, Tuesday. And we know that this is the third time that this particular stadium is going to be used for an inauguration ceremony. The first was in 2016 with Edgar Lungu, who was ushered into office. Thereafter, we did see him transferring the instruments of power to President Hakainde Hichilema, and now we're seeing President Hakainde Hichilema being given a second term in office to run this country. But we know for a fact that before that, there are a number of places that were used for inauguration ceremonies. I think around 2011, we did see Michael Chilufya-Sata being one of the presidents who was sworn in at the inauguration ceremony that took place at the Supreme High Court grounds. And we're just really looking forward to seeing what this event and moment is going to look like, seeing that President-elect Hakainde Hichilema now has been given a mandate to run this country for a second term.
Really, the mandate for President Hakainde Hichilema is going to be stemmed down to you're now taking over your own economy. You're now taking over your own government. You were there 5 years ago. You're now carrying on, you're renewing your mandate. So many now, what they're positioning themselves on the conversation of President Hakainde Hichilema is the conversation around saying we inherited a bad economy. This is an economy that is inheriting himself, that he has been creating for the last 5 years, which now will speak to what they will cement, what will they bring about in terms of just fixing what they say they have done significantly in terms of debt restructuring, but also they have done significant in terms of stabilizing the economy, as they have indicated, but much needs to be done around cost of living. And we are waiting to see where their goals will align with what's on the ground and the resources that are available for the country to utilize. I think that's a big concern that many Zambians are looking forward to.
Well, wait and see, and take a look at how things are going to run beyond the 1st of September. But we know that what we're expected to see is the kind of parliament. Also, there's aspect of registration that has been talked about. The members of parliament now need to start registering, but at the same time, there's need for them to equally be sworn in as MPs. We're looking at a total number of 226 elective seats within the August House, but we also have a total number of 40 members of parliament who will be looking at in terms of the mixed member proportional representation system that has now been implemented.
And 11 nominated.
And 11 nominated as well. So it's a total of well over 270 members of parliament that we're going to be looking at, because we are seeing that the president himself is a member of parliament, the vice president is a member of parliament, the speaker of the National Assembly and her deputy and the deputies as well are the ones we're looking at. So a very interesting parliament we're going to have, seeing that there's been an upscale in terms of those that will be sitting within the August House.
It's interesting. Looking forward to who is going to be renewed, whether Nelly Muti will renew her mandate as Speaker of the House.
And those are the other key things we should look out for in terms of the appointments and the swearing in of specific individuals. We know that the president has been able to do so. The likes of the permanent secretaries, the ministers, we're looking at what the cabinet will look like. After the president has been able to settle into office. Especially
looking at the fact that some cabinet ministers couldn't make it at parliament level election. So while as you spoke about key ministry, we did see Paul Kabuswe, who was Minister of Mines. He didn't make it. We did see Frank Dayadi, who was Minister of Transport. He was part of the cabinet, didn't make it. So there's a huge conversation around also the pool and the gap that has been there in the cabinet minister, in the ministry. Then we'll see how it will unfold.
Indeed. Well, that's our conversation with Edna Mwimbi there, looking at the preparations ahead of the swearing in or the inauguration ceremony of President-elect Hakainde Hichilema. It will take place on the 1st of September at Heroes Stadium. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Mulungushi International Conference Center is Zambia's premier destination for world-class events. Located in the heart of Lusaka, Mulungushi offers state-of-the-art facilities for conferences, exhibitions, concerts, and banquets all under one iconic roof. From the majestic main auditorium that sits up to 2,500 guests to the versatile main hall and elegant banquet hall. Our venues are designed to impress, fitted with cutting-edge audio-visual technology and adaptable layouts for any occasion. Need something smaller? Choose from our committee rooms, meeting rooms, or exclusive boardrooms, perfect for workshops, strategy sessions, and executive meetings. And if you're planning something under the sky, we also offer outdoor space at the beautiful Prestige Garden, ideal for weddings, cocktail receptions, and open-air celebrations. So book your next event today. Mulungushi International Conference Center, where Zambia meets the world.
Pascal's showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that the wells can store many, many messages. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded your contact center yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
The stage is set for more thrilling drama, canning new characters, unexpected plot twists, scandals, more laughter, some love, more seduction, mystery and intrigue.
Master Kalanka, mwilibe mufuma mapolo chombombela leo sife bada stamanga. This is stamanga.
After a long day of spreadsheets, traffic, and people saying circle back, Twambo just wants to stream his favorite show. But of course, his subscription expired. Good thing he's got the Airtel Money Global Pay Card for his global subscriptions. One tap and he's back in business. No panic, no drama. At checkout, just pick MasterCard and enter your Global Pay Card details, CVV, and expiry date. That's it. Show back on. Subscription paid. Couch life activated. Be like Twambo. Get your Global Pay Card in the Airtel Money section of the My Airtel app and top it up straight from your wallet.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless. Nikumbukila kudala, amama ezo tipikila.
Seni pajani kauka nezo peza ineyo kupya poja. Poja, poja, poja. Arewa poleji and shaba. Poja. Now I don't have to worry. Big tree poja ya series and honey. I just add more tanishi kwa sila basi. Ini instanti, fasty, fasty. Poja, full of goodness, full of joy.
Big Tree Poja Instant Family Porridge, a tradition of taste and nutrition.
Serve goals, thrills, and high fives alongside your fries with DStv for Business. And turn your pub, club, or restaurant into the ultimate entertainment hub with world-class live sport, breaking news, music, and so much more. Plus, with ExtraView, you can also show multiple live events at the same time. Our DStv Play packages are tailored to meet your needs and budget. Contact us today to serve up the ultimate entertainment experience with DStv for Business.
This green and I'm ready to go. Now tell me, do you feel the flow?
When you're feeling low, you can use some yellow to brighten another show. When I wanna get fired up, all I do is get the red.
Orange makes me feel alright and happy all the way.
Introducing the new Fruticana Smoothie in 4 exciting flavors. Fruticana Smoothie, color your mood.
Yes, it's the Lusaka edition of the Danikaya Music Fest at the Showgrounds Polo Fields B on Saturday, the 5th of September 2026. Gates open at 1600 hours. Supported by Angela Nyirenda, Israel, Mumpy, Tytoon, General Ozzy, and the host, Danny Kaya. Get your tickets now from any ShopRite store countrywide at 400 kwacha pre-sale or at the gate for 450. You better be there. See you there.
Tip Kawash, 20 kwacha, 20 baru. 5 kwacha. Kawash, yatipa, 5 kwacha. Go on,
How much for a plate?
Everything is better with Bento. Bento noodles, full of unique flavor.
Pascal's showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that the wells can store many, many messages. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded your contact center yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
For years, you've been watching Diamond TV on your TV screen or on your mobile device. But now, even if the screen is away, radio has a role to play with Diamond in your ear. We've taken those hard-hitting conversations, bold opinions, and informative discussions that you love from the Diamond Media Group to One Love Radio. Listen in to our flagship show, Costa, every Sunday at 21:15 hours. Then on Fridays at 10 hours, listen in to the Zambian Vote. And if you prefer your current affairs in local language, listen in to Atubandige every Monday at 21 hours and Natulande every Wednesday at 17 hours. It's Diamond Media, not just on your screen. It's Diamond in your ear. Make a date with One Love Radio, 104.1 FM in Lusaka, 94.9 FM in Kasama, 89.1 FM in Mansa, 87.7 FM in Mongu, 91.5 FM in Siavonga, and 102.3 FM in Joma. The eye meets the ear with Diamond Media on One Love Radio.
Introducing the new Black Panther Energy, the one true king. Available in 3 flavors.
Welcome back. Let's continue with the rest of the Road Time Newsroom. We now cross over to my colleague, Gabriel Josias Muba, who is joining us to give us details around satellite depots and Mukuni seeking to have these satellite depots being put up. Good afternoon to you, Gabriel. Just give us a bit more context, really, as to what we're looking at here in terms of these satellite depots.
Well, good afternoon to you, Justin, and thanks so much for having me. Indeed, there's been concerns from farmers around Kazungula district, but also you notice that for the previous 1 week up to where we are, we've not, noted a lot of concerns from farmers around the shortage of satellite depots across the country. We know that a similar concerns have been recorded in eastern part of the country and also in Muchinga. But those of Kazungula are not so different from what has been established from other parts of the country. Now, what is the feeling of the farmers is that there's been shortage of these storage facilities, making it very difficult for farmers then to store their crops. In certain cases where we've visited, we've noticed that maize has gone to waste because these farmers have to keep their maize in undesignated storage facilities. And also for Mukuni in the chiefdom, we do have, for example, 4 agriculture camps, and in these camps, we only have 1 satellite depot, making it very difficult for farmers, especially those that are in the proximity of the palace, to travel to as many as 25 kilometers to the nearest satellite depot. And the concerns of the royal establishment is basically for the government to establish more satellite depots so that farmers are not walking long distances, and also in the interest of safekeeping or safeguarding the maize that has been stored by farmers. But what we are getting also from the government is the fact that there's been a procedure that has been followed, and that is regarding the application by farmers who are affected. But what we've established also from the farmers is that they've made applications as far as 5 years to have different satellite depots installed in this locality. But it has taken rather too long for the government to respond to their concerns after having followed the laid down procedure. Justin.
Now, I just want to understand then, Josias, in terms of how then the farmers are navigating around this challenge that they are facing when it comes to satellite depots, accessing them.
Well, I'm not very sure if I got your question, but I'm sure you're trying to establish the alternative storing facilities that the farmers are currently using.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, it's been very challenging. Other farmers have resorted to storing their maize in their yards, and this has exposed these maize to lots of concerns. For example, you do realize that we have high temperatures at the moment. And so you do realize that some farmers have over 500 bags of maize that they've collected from their fields, and that has gone to waste. In certain areas, for example, we are told in Sikaunze that some farmers, because of this challenge of satellite depots, their maize has been eaten up by rats and other insects. And so this is exposing food insecurity concerns, and the urgency that this matter demands is quite so urgent. And we do recall that not long ago we also reported a story where the farmers came up with an initiative by themselves to establish a satellite depot, except the government has not accepted this depot because of allegations that the farmers did not follow the procedure. And so we do note that there's been ongoing protest as well as concerns around the storage facilities when it comes to maize between the farmers themselves and the local agriculture camps that have been set up by the government. Danj.
One of the things that was talked about by the Food Reserve Agency, Gabriel, when we did see them announcing the floor maize price and the price of, how much they'll be buying specific crops, and one of the things that was talked about is these very satellite depots. Is it that the farmers in this particular area are not confident in that statement, in that the FRA in the near future is planning to put up, more of these depots to ensure that the farmers can equally have their crops sold?
Well, absolutely, except the challenge of the lack of enough depots also is sending a very negative feedback to the farmers, because, you realize that there are some briefcase buyers that are taking advantage of this situation. And so in certain cases, farmers are opting to sell to people that are following them in their respective areas, because after all, the worry is that the longer they keep their maize in unsafe places, then they will lose on income. And so the delay by the government or FRA to set up these satellite depot is also exposing the farmers to compulsory selling to these briefcase buyers who are visiting the farmers in their localities. And so, like I said, in the wrong line, you do realize that this would create a food insecurity, because this then means that farmers are not going to be able to supply to the government, because in certain cases, the government, like we have been told now, that it has taken a lot of years for them to respond to a call by farmers in Mukuri chiefdom for them to have nearby depot.
I equally like to talk about something that was brought up by the Food Reserve Agency, and this is that of how they're going to be purchasing, crops that has met a specific moisture content. Now that we're getting into, the dry season, the summer, have we seen some of the farmers equally just getting ready to sell off their maize crop and then meeting this moisture content percentage?
Well, it's been a bit tricky for Kazungula, for example. You do realize that Kazungula is the food basket for the country, but it's been very challenging for the farmers here, based on the fact that there's been limited, satellite depots. But we hope that the government is able to respond quickly to the farmers, so that then that could guarantee their efforts to supply to the government. Right now, we are headed to another satellite camp where we're getting similar concerns regarding the limited availability of satellite depots that are creating an otherwise environment for farmers to have no option but sell to the private buyers who visiting them in their yards, as opposed to the government that, according to the farmers, has delayed to give them the zeal to be able to supply because of lack of or limited satellite depots in certain areas.
Thank you so much, Gabriel Josias, for that update. We have more coming up on the Root Time Newsroom. Kenan Siam will be joining us to close it up with some sports news. Do stick around. We'll be right back after the break.
This is the moment I look forward to every day. Apapeve taste is you can't compare this taste to anything else. Uzale machabe kusakira bwana. Kupeza taste monga Big Tree curry powder. There is no.
Big Tree Curry Powder, with its unique blend of aromatic spices, will turn any dish into a tasty, flavorful meal everyone will love.
To find a taste, your pitidiro pambana Big Tree Curry Powder. Mwana mai, there is no.
Big Tree Curry Powder. Spice up your life.
Welcome to an electrifying new epic of agricultural shopping. Nestled in the bustling Lusaka showgrounds, the Nemchem Agri Division is more than just a store. It's the lighthouse of advancement, searching for top-notch biosecurity, cleaning and pest control solutions. Attention! Local businesses, your quest ends here. Get ready for a thrilling journey in agricultural retail. The future begins at Nemchem Agri Division, your supermarket for superior quality. The revolution of agricultural shopping starts now. It's about empowering your business and nurturing your community. Call us today or visit our shop at the Lusaka Showgrounds.
Hello, thank you. Hello?
Where are you? The guests already here.
They have run out. I'm on my way there. Fruit up. Speed up, speed up. Officers ahead, officers ahead.
Oh, you're back.
I don't have it.
Everybody knows it's not a real welcome without Fruit Up. Fruit Up fruit juice. Real fruit in every drop.
Uniturtle Industries presents Turtle Agro, comprising stockfeed lime and agricultural lime. The wide range of turtle stockfeed lime, where the coarse, grit or fine lime enhances the good health and growth of your livestock, be it poultry, piggery, and many more. On the other hand, calcitic and dolomitic lime are the best agricultural solutions that creates a steady balance and improvement of the health of your soils, increasing crop resistance to diseases for greater harvests. Get affordable lime. Call us on 0211 286064 or WhatsApp 09755 79558. Email info@uniturtle.com or visit the website www.uniturtle.com. Turtle Agro Lime. Lime your fields, get better yields. By Uniturtle Industries.
What do we call that? Whoosh. I love it. Whoosh.
Welcome back. We conclude with the sports update. Kenan Siame is joining us to give us details around the Zescondola girls reaching the COSAFA final. Kenan, let's quickly get into that, and you just indicating to us the Zescondola girls, that is, and them reaching the COSAFA final.
So Zescondola girls are actually headed to the final where they'll face Mamelodi Sundowns, the ladies, on Saturday. This is the COSAFA Women's Championship, knowing that Zescondola girls did manage to get the maximum 3 points in yesterday's game against the Silver Strikers of Malawi. And Silver Strikers, it was their maiden tournament, reaching as far as the semi-finals. But if you get to look back at how Zescondola girls have come into this tournament, it has been a superb for them, starting with a win. They've won all their group stage matches. And the most exciting one was the one they played against the defending champions, which is Gaborone United ladies team, beating them by 5 goals to 0, which saw them go as far as the semi-finals where they played against the Silver Strikers. And something that is more interesting about Zescondola girls is that they just had a new coach, that's Coach Florence Atiaka, who is now taking charge of the team, and she has gone unbeaten in the last games that she's been in charge. Now, some of the sentiments that she has said is that they are ready, and there are just a few things that she will need to change heading into the finals, knowing that last season they played against Mamelodi Sundowns ladies which they came from behind and managed to get a win in the semifinals and reach the finals, which was good. And in the league as well, we did see them the other season playing unbeaten all around all the games. And now they are the champions from the division league here in Zambia. And now going to the final, it's something that will be able to help the development of women's football in Zambia so far. If they win tomorrow's final, then they'll go straight to, they'll qualify for the CAF Women's Champions League, which they've already qualified. So they're just a step away to be crowned as champions.
Let's move on to something that you also equally cover in Kenan. Zambia Netball Team Eyes World Cup. What are the details?
Well, so the Zambia women's netball team are actually in camp. They entered camp on Monday, and now it's day 5 today as we count. They've been in camp just working on one or two things that to make sure that they go to Kenya, where the African Cup of Nations will take place on the 19th, on the 16th to the 26th of September 2026. So that's where Team Zambia will be heading to. So the team has a total number of 20 players. So from the 20 players, they will be trimmed to 12 players. I did do an interview with one of the players, a center from NAPSA Stars. Her name is Grace Sakala. She did mention that she's eager and she's excited to be called to the women's senior national team. She did mention that she also played at the Zone 5 Kusana. She was also part of the under-19 team where she came out as a best player. Now heading to the women's team, she says she's really excited and looking forward to play the likes of Kenya, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, as well as Malawi, knowing that Malawi netball is one of those teams that gives Zambia a threat. But now she did say that she's looking forward to play against such teams. And in the team, we do have the likes of Beauty, who was part of the team that won the tournament before. So Zambia is really in good hands from the sentiments heading towards the tournament.
Kenan Siame, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll have to leave it at that. We call it a show as you can tune in to the Root Time Newsroom every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at exactly 12 noon. But for these and more news updates, what you can be doing is catching up with us via our sports news, as well as our news desks at 18:45 hours as well as 20 hours. In the meantime, be sure to utilize our social media platforms and stay up to date by following us from there and our website. My name is Justin Mulenga.
So much is happening in the country. Always trust us for verified and credible information as we build you up to even more insight into the many happenings within the country. My name is Ndanji Duncan Simwanza. Have a profitable rest of a Friday afternoon and enjoy your weekend.